What has been the role of the Pakistan ISI in regards to international terrorism? Well, we'll keep it domestic. It has been historically accurate to assert that the Pakistan ISI, which is the inter-services agency, intelligence agency, and one of the oldest agencies in the intelligence community, which has nefarious links to known terrorist groups, including the Taliban in Afghanistan, the Taliban in Pakistan, and of course the organization that was deemed a terrorist group in 2001, Jaysh-e-Muhammed, which is asserted that Pakistan ISI helped to create it to fight against the Indian government in Kashmir and to separate it from the country under Indians' control. And so the Pakistan ISI has a long, illustrious history, but we'll go back to when the ISI Director General, Hamid Gul, who was the Director General between 1987 to 1989. Gul is said to have planned and orchestrated the operation to capture Jalalabad from the Afghanistan government, in which there were many Afghan Arabs involved in that operation. Some notable warlords, Gulbuddin Hekmatyar of the Hezb-i-Islami party, Abdul Rasul Sayyaf of the Ittihad al-Islami, and Osama bin Laden, actually himself, who was at that point the emir of the MAC office, the Maktab al-Khidmat, in which also he was running a camp called al-Masada. But they lost. The Pakistan Soviet-backed Afghanistan government won. It was a resounding defeat in which Hamid Gul and Zia-ul Haq, who was the president, were actually deposed of their positions. It was seen as a mistake, actually, to enter this conflict half-cocked, actually, using the Mujahideen fighters against a organized militia. Most of the Arabs that were involved in the conflict had little experience in regards to guerrilla warfare, whereas the Afghans actually have. That's neither here nor there. Benazir Bhutto, who was the prime minister of Pakistan, actually replaced Hamid Gul, who was sacked as the ISI general and replaced by Shamsir Rahman Kalouli, who has pushed a more classical policy of support to the rebels in Afghanistan. He was much more reserved director general. And so Gul also had connections to al-Qaeda as well and other terrorist groups in Pakistan and in Afghanistan. And usually the ISI has close links with these terrorist organizations, and for reasons that are quite plain. Pakistan's mortal enemy is India. And so Pakistan would use these organizations to conduct terrorist operations inside Kashmir and inside to deeper India. And of course, those of the 9/11 fold know who Lieutenant General Mahmoud Ahmad was. He was a retired 3-star general, and he was the director of the Inter-Services Intelligence Agency between 1999 from 1999 to 2001, in which he is implicated in wiring $100,000 to known Pakistan militant terrorist organizer Omar Saeed Sheikh, a Pakistan militant, who then gave that money to allegedly Muhammad Atta. Mahmoud Ahmed had close links with the Taliban in Afghanistan and its emir, Mohammed Mullah Omar, in the year 2000. Also, he had close links also with Al-Qaeda as well. And this is under General Pervez Musharraf, whose control over the civilian government was notably forced to retire. He forced Ahmed out to retire because of his alleged financing of the Hamburg cell in 2000 and 2001. And so there was no investigation into Ahmed because he was actually deposed of his position. Sounds familiar? And so what is the inexplicable direct link to terrorism and to the Pakistan ISI? Is it similar to what the U.S. intelligence agency, the CIA, has with terrorist organizations? In 2011, a CIA operation called Timber Sycamore, in which it was upheld by U.S. President Barack Obama, headed by King Hussein of Jordan, Jordan, and Benjamin Netanyahu, Prime Minister of Israel, pushed Obama to lead this operation headed by the CIA to fund a terrorist organization in Syria, which is al-Nusra, to try and overthrow the government of Bashir al-Assad. So after the New York Times broke the story in 2012, the Obama administration had to do some recovery in which they basically denied it at first, but then afterwards asserted that, yes, we are arming militant rebels because the Assad administration is the one who is conducting terrorism onto the residents of Syria. And it ended in 2017 by the Trump presidency. Donald Trump was the one who ended Timber Sycamore. And so you have, what I'm trying to say is you have these intelligence agencies that have a close link with notable terrorist organizations to try and achieve a political agenda, whether it be against Syria, whether it be against India, Afghanistan, what have you. But the agendas are quite multifold. They could be at the behest of the foreign lobbies of the Gulf, Saudi Arabia, Israel, and the AIPAC lobby. A greater geopolitical goal for military expansionism in the region. That would be the United States at the Pentagon, Department of State, Department of Defense. And also, it could be just for a black operations where they can, intelligence agencies could use these terrorist organizations to eliminate a preconceived enemy, which is usually a political enemy. And so I think I'll end it there. It's just a short video about how the intelligence services use these terrorist organizations. These intelligence services use these terrorist organizations to achieve a greater, even nefarious agenda, which is usually at the behest of civilians.